Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Remember, we were not trading as much as we had been before for a very, very long time because we were worried about surviving the next day. So now we're seeing an increase in that trade again and the different types of goods that are there, because for 200 years, the Europeans and the Muslims were around each other, or people from the Middle East were around each other. So their cultures are starting to blend. So we're seeing an increase in the trade and the want for the goods that they have and the knowledge that they have. Another effect, complex Muslim arts, philosophy, and culture was introduced to Europeans. Marco Polo traveled to China and back, writing a book about his travels, which became very popular at the time. And yes, Marco Polo is an explorer, and this is where the silly pool game comes from, where you sit in the pool and you close your eyes, you go, Marco Polo, Marco Polo. That is where we get the name of that game from, because he was a famous explorer. The effects of the Crusades. Increased trade equals increased income for Italian merchants. So trade starts to pick up. We're trading more than we used to, and that is leading to more money for Italian merchants. Though Christians were not able to recapture the Holy Land, they were able to keep Muslims from advancing into mainland Europe. So this was huge. So just because we didn't get the Holy Land, that was a loss, but it was a victory also that Christians were able to keep Muslims out of Europe. So Europe could stay a Christian territory and not a Muslim territory. There was an exchange of goods, an exchange of languages. When you are around other civilizations for 200 years, like we were during these Crusades, you're going to pick up the languages of those people around you. So there was an exchange of languages. Chess came to Europe. So the game of chess originated in the Middle East and has come over to Europe. We also have paper and textiles that came to Europe from the Muslims. Lasting impacts of the Crusades. There was persecution of Jews and Muslims. If you remember at the very beginning, the Roman Empire, before they became Christian, they were persecuting Christians, which means they were imprisoning them, enslaving them, or killing them just because they were Christian. Well, after the Crusades, we have the Christians persecuting the Jews and the Muslims. So you're either getting imprisoned or beaten or killed just because you are a Jew or a Muslim. Another lasting impact was economic development through trade. We've started trading more, we're making more money, so we can do more things as a society with that money. The lasting impacts of the Crusades again. Feudalism weakened. This is huge. We've had self-sufficient manors for hundreds of years now, but nobles could sell their land back to the king to go on a crusade. So if there's no nobles on the land, they cannot offer protection for those people that are on the land working it. Also, serfs could buy their freedom from the Lord to go on a crusade. Well, if the nobles are gone, don't offer protection, and now serfs are gone, so there's no one to work the land, it leaves the manor understaffed and creates problems. The manor just falls apart. And again, this says the same thing. So what goes in that blank there is land. I'm not going to repeat this, but land goes in that blank. It says just what I had said before. If a manor failed because the serfs are gone and the nobles are gone, it went back to the king. From there, exposure to superior Muslim technology, Europeans learned to build better ships, use a compass, algebra, and other math skills. Overall, the Crusades brought a revival in cities, trade, and learning. So this is huge. So now we're coming out of the dark ages of medieval Europe because there's a revival in the cities because trade is increased, and now there's a desire to learn because the Muslims have brought over all this technology and math and stuff that the Europeans are interested in. Success of the Crusades. Although the Crusades were a failure, they left a lasting impression on Western Europe. Crusaders were unable to recapture the Holy Lands.